A small victory. ESPN, after a huge public outcry, decided to take Stephen A. Smith off the air for a week. The action comes after Smith intimated women sometimes provoke battering. Yesterday, CNN legal analyst Mel Robbins and I called for Smith's suspension, and that in itself caused, well, some silliness. It is nice that Smith apologized, but I wonder if ESPN will do what it ought to do, suspend Smith. Look, in 2012, the management at ESPN expressed outrage when two employees used the phrase chink in the armor while referencing Jeremy Lin, the Asian basketball player. One employee was suspended for 30 days and the other was fired. So why is ESPN giving Smith a pass?
The feminazis. The feminazis are fried. They're really worked up over the Ray Rice suspension, the Baltimore Ravens. And the commissioner of the NFL sent a guy out to try to explain what happened. He ended up throwing gasoline on the fire, made it worse. I watched a couple of women on CNN this morning, just livid. And these were elderly feminazis. They claim his apology was on a teleprompter, which means somebody wrote it and he didn't really mean it, so they're after Stephen A. Smith at ESPN.
Seriously? Elderly feminazis? Is that all you got, Rush? Well, I hate to tell you, honey, but you lost. Stephen A. Smith has been rightly suspended for a week. Why? Because both men and women, young and old, were outraged. Some of your comments are now scrolling at the bottom of the screen, so let's talk about this. Brian Stelter is CNN senior media correspondent. Mel Robbins is a CNN commentator, legal analyst, and my fellow elderly feminazi.
Carol, I do love older women.
Mel, I actually
think when is 45 older? Oh my gosh.
Elderly, I don't know. I think he needs to come up with something new. He's been using the term feminazi since, what, 1912 or so?
Well, I guess if we're elderly, Carol, that makes him the Walking Dead, and we should start calling him a conserva-pig instead of a conservatist. But look, name-calling aside, the bottom line is we were right. We were right in saying that the comments that Stephen Smith said were absolutely dangerous and outrageous, and I think it just took a lot of public outcry from outside the walls of ESPN for ESPN to realize that this was really egregious, and they needed to make a public statement about it by suspending him for a very short period of time.
It's almost as if ESPN had their finger up in the air to see how people reacted to his apology on Monday, and then a day later decided to suspend him. To me, that seems kind of fishy, and I haven't heard a good explanation from anybody about why it took them an extra day to suspend him, but as you all know, eventually they did.
Well, you really think that ESPN was just waiting to see what would happen, and it didn't make this
sure hope
decision
not.
in a
I sure hope
reasoned
not.
way?
But that's how it seems. I hope that didn't happen, but there hasn't been a better explanation for it. Maybe they had to negotiate this with Stephen. Maybe that's what happened.
Brian's exactly right, because look, this all went down on Friday. And his colleague Michelle went bananas on Twitter. They had the weekend to think about this, and what did ESPN decide to do? They decided to keep him on the air and let him do a pre-taped apology, and then they didn't even have a discussion about it. They moved on to a really awkward conversation about LeBron James and his jersey number. So they made their decision about how to handle it, and then it was the outcry that I think had them basically say, uh-oh, we kind of screwed up here. We better reverse course and do something a little bit more serious.
I think a discussion would have been worthwhile. I've been surprised by the number of people that I see on Facebook and Twitter, a number of women included, saying he was making an important point, trying to stand up for Stephen A. Smith. So to have that discussion and to push back against people who think that he was making a true point is something that actually is worthwhile. I think it's only happening online, not happening on ESPN.
Well, and I find that part sad because, you know, Mel, you and I were talking about this yesterday, that it would be nice if ESPN would have, like, maybe Michelle Beadle to come on and do a segment and to really talk about this issue seriously, because it is a problem in the world of athletics.
You know, you're right, Carol, and it's actually also sort of a nuanced point, because if he's sitting here talking about the fact that in any situation of violence against women, that you need to look at the provoking acts. What he's basically saying is that if there is if there's provocation on the part of the woman, whether she spits at somebody, she talks back, she doesn't show up on time, whatever it may be, that act by the woman somehow justifies the violence. And I think that is a conversation that we need to have in this country where people understand, yeah, people say, yeah, never put your hands on a woman. But the second you say that and then you say, but let's look at what the woman did that caused the man to put his hands on her, you're saying the woman did something to justify it. And that's never the appropriate conversation. It's a very dangerous one to have. But you're right.
And plus,
They
he's
should have had
the one that
guts
was
to talk
charged with
about
a
it.
crime. She wasn't. He was charged with a crime. And the only reason that, you know, it went no further is because he agreed to this mediation process, right? And it was a first-time offense. But
Correct.
she, again, was not charged with a crime.
Initially, they were both charged with assault. The charges were dropped against her. They had multiple witnesses that cooperated with the police, that witnessed what happened. And then, you're right, instead of going to trial, he entered a first-time offender program. And for completion, they dismissed the charges and any sort of probation. It's something that we see happening in the criminal courts all the time. Doesn't mean it didn't happen, by the way. It means they figured out a way other than trial for this to get resolved.
So Brian, do you think that the NFL will come out and say any more about this issue?
I doubt it. I would like for them to, but I doubt it. I think they've defended themselves a couple of different times and would like to see it go away now. In some ways, the Stephen A. Smith suspension is a distraction from the Ray Rice news, which allows them to move on. I thought not surprising, the smartest thing said on ESPN about this was from the only woman who's on the show with Stephen A. Smith, First Take. It was Carrie Champion who said, it was the word provoke. It's a trigger word. And once you hear that word, you don't hear anything else he was trying to say. I think that might be one of the lessons for Stephen A. Smith in all of this, is the language he was using, the way he tried to make his points, even if his points shouldn't have been said in the first place. It was the language he was using that the people couldn't hear anything beyond that, you know?
Gotcha. Brian Stelter, Mel Robbins, thanks for playing. I appreciate it. I want to know what you...
elderly feminista.
Feminazi.
Feminazi, whatever the hell it is.
Whatever. Thanks a lot, Mel. I want to know what you think about all of this. You can tweet me at CarolCNN. You might see your response at the bottom of the screen in our next hour.